Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have a revised agenda tonight. So the one that's a single page, this is the one that's been revised. Basically, there's a couple of additions on the front. 4D and E, and then under action item 6B, approve the student investment account annual report. So would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. As amended.
As amended.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're moving on. Certified and classified representatives. I saw Velma and Steve here tonight, so I'll let you choose who wants to go first.
I So I think that the school year started out really good. I like it when it started out smooth. There's not a whole lot to talk about because we only have a week of school. So that's really about it.
Thanks, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do want to, here we go. Welcome you guys and thanks for serving because I'm sure you have other things that you could be doing and I do appreciate service and I do know that it takes time and it takes effort and it's a lot to be put yourself out because that's the only place you ever get attacked is people that are putting themselves out there. So thank you for being a part of this. Started off the school year, open houses. I think every elementary school had an open house. It went very well. I know we had a freshman open house at orientation thing, and I understand that Foster was packed with parking. And was you serving ice cream there? Yeah, that's it right there. So the open house that went very well for getting the kids, especially at the elementary level. I think that's really important because they're nervous, and I know the junior high as well attended. There's a lot of things that we've got going, and you find out when you come back to school that it's hard to find teachers now. It's tough right now nationwide, and we come into this year we're a little teacher shy. We're working on things, and we come in and they're putting together little kites. It's still being finishing that up, working hard, and everything like that comes in front of you. You've got two choices, and my dad always said that when things hit, it's you come into a situation, you can either lay down and complain, or you can find a way. And I just keep seeing us find a way in this district. I've seen it for too many years. But we still have people that lay down and complain. But they're not worth their salt if that's all they're gonna do. So I just love to see how we're finding a way when we come into this. Coming into this year at the high school, I want to tell you that must have been 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Darren, we started the freshman group. Was that 3 years? The freshman focus group? It was right before COVID. Oh, it was right before. Okay, then they're that long. But we've got to see now, and Luke took that and expanded it. And when Luke got to tell us that we had 92% of our freshmen on track to graduate, that's incredible. I don't care who you are. That 8%, those are kids that we probably couldn't get them to do things with ice cream. So, but 92 on track. And that's taken the effort that we also had at the high school. We have a champions group where, and I told you about this last year, where these kids, the sneaky kids, find somebody that champions them, checks on them, takes care of them. And then what Luke's done to progress that forward, now, we've expanded that to a junior class. It's just kind of a, and again, he can tell you more about it, but it's just kind of the next stage of that, because if you get a kid through his junior year, they're already there, right? They're halfway there, might as well, you know? And, but to see that happening, I know, it's exciting for me to see that we have an idea and we have a plan to, find ways for those kids. And, you know, and not every kid's coming through traditionally in 7 periods a day, you know, but we've, you know, found a way. We created an online, we found a credit retrieval. And, you know, some kids are only coming there a little bit at a time, but you know what, a little bit at a time gets them a diploma. That diploma is gonna mean something when they're 40 years old, you know, or when they're 30 and applying for their first house loan. So, a lot of good things are happening. You're seeing a lot of transition too with, there's some older staff going, right? And so we've got some, you know, and I would encourage our principals to start mentoring and finding those younger teachers that, you know, for one, that do what we did with Kevin, marry a local girl and you stay here, right? That's what you do. Live also. You live also, exactly. So, but you mentor those younger teachers along and find a way, but don't exasperate them with policy and paperwork. Let them make their mistakes. Let's make their mistakes. They'll come through. And I want to encourage our principals to find, you know, target those guys. I've targeted people to start taking off when I'm going, and I've started working with them. So, and I think lastly, I would encourage this board, during the year, you'll have people contact you through a phone call and email, but, or cowardice on social media, attacking the school and teachers and certain people. Don't listen to the first child ahead of throw something out. Okay? If you want to know something, talk to somebody credible. You know, we already did tell them we do not have, kitty litter boxes in the bathroom. Okay? So talk to somebody credible. Because people, hey, parents have a right, people have a right to complain. And it's okay for you guys to squash it when you see it doesn't, you know, just like if someone comes to us with something regarding union stuff, if it's not a union thing, then it's not, it's handled here. You know, and same thing, when someone comes to this board or admin, they're not always right just because they're the customer. You know, so I would encourage this board to seek wise counsel when you have a situation. I'm praying for this board, you know, for a good year. And I think we're gonna have a good year. I'm starting 34. But I'm looking forward to it. And so if you guys ever have questions of me or of anything, feel free to ask. When we are doing different things within the school, the high school gives out what's happening. You can check the junior high to see what's going on weekly, and you know, attend those things that you can see some of the cool stuff that we're doing. You know, this district, this is a good place. 219 freshmen. 19 freshmen. That's a lot.
Big class.
That's a lot of freshmen. I don't remember having that many, but 34 years ago, I forgot it. But no, it's a great class. Watching a gym pool, watching energetic teachers and new faces and having an administration like we have right now, so I'm excited for that step. And I know the strength of what we have at our elementary schools and junior high. So looking forward to a good year. Does anybody have any questions for me on anything?
I do. Can you tell me about the unified science class?
It's not, it's integrated.
Integrated.
I would love to because I'm teaching integrated math.
I love it.
And, okay. I emailed after the first day, I emailed my admin and Luke came in and Ralph came in and said, you guys, we're doing something that the Oregon Department of Education came in and said, hey, you guys just may be piloting a program that the rest of the state follows. I have my kids' first period. I used to teach a BLS Essentials Math. It was smaller class, but what we're doing now is we're teaching an integrated, unified, an integrated math and an integrated science. I'm teaching the math, Michelle is teaching the science. And the students from our basic life skills, they're coming into class with kids that are very, very low with some special needs are coming in. But I have also, a few adults, but I have 7 peer tutors.
Yeah.
And these guys, when Hannah Saminsky is sitting beside me lady, and they're working, and these are things that you just don't normally see. Hey, not everybody can work at the same. I'm not teaching the same. We're doing, grouping areas, but there are some we're counting numbers, some of them we're tracing, others we are. I'm telling them, you use your calculator to figure this out, get this, because I don't want them to be a target. I want them to be able to count their money. I want them to know what they get when they work. And there's a goal, but to watch, to circle through the room. For one, I'm a morning person, and I couldn't do this 7th period. I wouldn't have the energy. But to watch these kids and the grace of these peer tutors who are just smiling, standing up, working with them. And they're not just saying, yeah, now do this. They are right there. And we have kids that are nonverbal that are in there doing this. And it has been incredible. Michelle, their kids are working. Is your son doing it?
No, but Kaylee is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So they are working. They're doing the assignment with him. They're working side by each. When it first happened and I saw him with and I was going, oh my God, here. So I got 19 kids with special needs here. And then I'm gonna have, today I had another one show up and I brought in another cartoon. Casey Cat came in as a new cartoon and just took off like he'd always been there. He asked him to do something. They work one-on-one and they're turning it in. They're showing me this is something that literally could be piloted by the ODE, and every kid's being met where they're at. Not if you can't add, you're gonna struggle, right? And some of these kids, the realism isn't getting homework done, it's learning. And so watching what these kids did, I emailed all their parents on Friday and just told them how inspiring it is to get to start my day like that. And then Michelle has them 3rd, and I know that some of them went and visited her room, but that's just another way. We're finding a way. And we've got, and it gives our BLS teacher, Booker, it gives him a prep that, he does on it. He comes down and walks down there and sees how it's going, who can he help him. So it might be something that I wish we could just, I don't know, it's hard, it's hard to capture the inspiring, the inspiration, the gist of what is happening there when I get to sit back after getting going and I'm energized. And I get them excited about it. And not all the kids come in when the bell rings, only a few, and then a few more come in, then a few that's finished their breakfast. And so the minute they hit, we're got to, and I've got some great adults in the class to help. It's I don't know, this is nothing like I've ever seen, and getting the peer tutors to work that way. It reminds me of old school when I had peer tutors and doing my adaptive physical activities. But this is much better. Yeah, thanks for asking about that. It's a pretty cool thing. It really is. So, any other questions? Or anything? Hey, I'm looking forward to a great year, you guys. And You know, next month I'll tell you how I get, if I've gotten any grayer or shorter, I'll let you know that first period been eating up. But looking forward to a great year. Thank you, Kevin and Terry, and, our district's in good shape. Newburgh High School has 8 furlough days this year and still looking at where they're gonna still have. They just started with 61 staff and 8 furlough days. And, here we are coming in and we're tired about doing the building. I mean, it's incredible. It's a good place to be. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
All right, we have a new student representative tonight as well. So Killian Boggs. I'll let you introduce yourself and then go into the report that you have.
Yeah, my name is Dylan Boggs. I'm the Series Student Body President. And since it's back to school, I don't have any topics to talk about. I have 4 here. Back to school for the freshman first day. There's so many freshmen, but staff and our leadership team were out in the hallways helping freshmen get to their classes and everything like that. And on the all school first day, we had numerous people helping. We had a back to school dance that night and the numbers were high, just as much as homecoming. We had many people there at the back to school dance. Our whole leadership team, usually it's freshman oriented, helping set that dance up, but we had seniors, juniors, all helping up with that dance and it ran really well. Thirdly, sports are up and running, and for an example, there was a delay due to lightning. This Friday night at football, there was about an hour delay, and most people stayed, and the stands were still electric, and I mean, we ended up winning the game. It was great. I can speak for volleyball as well. The volleyball stands are electric as well. Everyone's hyped for the games, and I think this year will be good for our sports. Our leadership team went from about probably 25, 30 students to about 40 students. We saw there was many people that wanted to get involved in the school. So we have 10 people from each grade, part of our leadership team. And we're really expanding our classes to where we need 2 teachers. So we have Ryan Adams, Thomas Rosa, helping with our leadership. And lastly, our next task at hand is looking at homecoming and planning those events. That's all I have.
Okay.
You guys have any questions?
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and sitting through the whole meeting.
You're not required to sit.
Yeah.
We won't be offended if you leave. All right, superintendent's report. Terry, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. We have 2,322 students enrolled. That'll continue to shift. I expect that number will be different next month. Looking across the elementary, the K-6 numbers, the 2 lowest numbers out of all of those classes is K and 1. And so that's a concern and something that we're certainly going to be watching. Healthy overall enrollment, but if our smallest numbers are the ones coming in, we definitely want to pay attention to that so that we don't make some of the mistakes that we've seen. You know, there's a lot of talk in the news, other districts have. On strategic plan progress, we are starting the Spark SB Award this month. So this coming meeting, we will have the winners of that. Under Thriving Citizen, you should have an attendance proclamation from our governor. And what I'd like to do, you have a copy of it. And Sky, I can give you my copy, but summary of that. And so September was signed on September 6th. September has been officially proclaimed Attendance Awareness Month. And my summary of the following, as opposed to all of the whereases: regular school attendance is crucial for student success and sense of belonging, especially starting from pre-K. Chronic absenteeism disproportionately affects students of color and low-income students. Worsening achievement gaps and long-term outcomes like dropout rates. Addressing this issue requires collaboration between schools, families, and communities. So let it be known that September is Attendance Awareness Month. For Pillar 3, Thriving Community, the Sweet Home Community Foundation, along with the New Era, are sponsoring a city council candidate forum. They've approached us to do so. The best setting really will be at the auditorium. And so mid next month, they plan on hosting a forum, inviting all the candidates. Last I'd heard, someone else would probably know better than I, but last I'd heard there's a dozen candidates running for council. And anything we can do to help, what was it you said earlier, Dick, Kevin, help promote democracy in action? We're gonna do so. So we'll be hosting that. It'll be in the evening, mid next month, at the high school auditorium. And we'll get that date out there to you when we know when it is. The candidates, they've got it narrowed into, I think, 2 days. They're reaching out to candidates to get, where the most of them will be able to attend. We have one in the back room. We do have one in the back room, you're right. Pillar 4, safe and welcoming facilities service. The board, we all just finished a tour of Oak Heights. And as we've been saying right along, it's ready enough for students. It'll be beautiful when it's complete. So visible progress is happening daily. And we will be having an open house. Steve was off by one, and that's Oak Heights. We haven't done an open house there yet because we're going to do that on a larger scale with the community. So the community can come in and see that when it is ready to go. So with that, that concludes my report.
Any questions? All right, thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Next, we have the consent agenda. Approve the minutes from the August 12, 2024 school board meeting. Approve the temporary hire of Bethany Young, 5th grade teacher at Oak Heights Elementary for the 24-25 school year. Approve the temporary hire of Melissa Cruzel, 6th grade teacher at Oak Heights Elementary for the 24-25 school year. Accept the retirement of Mark Holden, science teacher at the junior high, effective October 1, 2024, with the opportunity to work back for the remainder of the 24-25 school year. And approve the hire of Alejandra Rua Rico, Spanish teacher at the high school, effective immediately.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Temporary, like they're receiving their licenses, or temporary, they're just standing in until we find something?
I believe it's just they're already licensed, correct? It's just for the
I thought I
school
saw they
year.
were on emergency license.
That have a restricted and emergency license, they have that.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
I
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Budget update, Kevin.
It's an item 5A in the board packet, doing out 2 months. Through this fiscal year-to-date spending for the general fund is up just over $82,000 compared to the same time period last year. Primary reasons for that, we have some higher labor costs. Charter school payments are up, insurance premiums are up, computer software subscriptions. A lot of that is due to timing as far as when we place orders is up also, but nothing unexpected.
And if anybody's looking for that, that's on the back of the one that was mailed out to us. Any questions?
Oh, that's the revised. Oh, you might not. You
Here's the next
I didn't bring
one,
that,
Lloyd.
so-
You got it?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, and next, this is the second year that we have had to present to the board annual report. Last year it was called the Student Investment Account Annual Report. This year it's called the Integrated Programs Annual Report. What this is we're receiving several grants from the state, and this report summarizes the spending and shows you how we're using those funds. The three primary ones for the Sweet Home School District are the Student Investment Account, the High School Success Program, and also the Early Indicator and Intervention System Program. So the annual report, it gives you an overview, explains how it ties in with our district strategic plan, kind of gives additional information about what the student investment account is intended for, what high school success is intended for, and also what the early intervention and indicator system is intended for. There is then a spending report for each of those three grants, and you can see last year how we spent those dollars. And then ODE gives us a writing assignment where they ask some questions at the end, and you can see our responses there. And so one of the requirements is that we present this each year to the board, and then it will be an action item later on where the board can decide whether to accept the report. So thank you.
Okay, any more questions? All right, thanks, Kevin. Next is to announce the budget committee vacancies. So lately we've had trouble filling the budget committee positions. So if you know anybody who is interested in coming in and helping out with looking through the budget and getting that put together, we have, what is there, 6 openings? They're Zone 1 Holly, Zone 2 Liberty, Zone 4 Cascadia, Zone 6 Crawfordsville, Zone 7 at large, and Zone 8 at large.
So restrictions are, they can't be employed by the school district?
Can't be employed by the school district. And I think for the first part, for the zones, unless we can't fill them, they should be from the zone. Unless we can't fill them, and then we can backfill with somebody from another zone. So. And then they have to be registered voters, and because we ran into that at one point as well too, so.
Is this advertised somewhere?
I don't know, do we push it out there?
Yeah, we, at different times, we've had it on our website, and, you know, keep in mind too, we have the largest potential budget committee in the state, because with 9 board members and then 9 budget committee members, it makes it 18. And so if you read the state law, the budget committee could be just the board. And so there are no requirements that every position has to be filled. It would be great if we have the interest to have that, but probably even more important, if we have people that volunteer, they really need to be committed, because what happens is when we have our budget committee meetings, if we have someone appointed, but they're not here, that counts against us for the quorum requirements. And we have had in past years times where it's been difficult to have a quorum because we've had people that volunteered, but then they don't show. And so I would say more important than filling the position is, if we do fill it, have someone that's committed to participate.
Generally speaking, it's 1 to 3 meetings. So it isn't a huge commitment, but there is some time going through and looking through the budget.
So 16 board members or 16 members on that board, you'd have to have 9 people in order to have a.
Correct, yes. So what happens then is if there were 16, we would need to have 9 present, and all 9 would then need to vote for the budget for it to move on.
Because
The
it's-
concern is that we never want to be in. If we don't have an approved budget by July 1st, we can't spend any money, and for practical purposes, things kind of shut down and we never want to be in that spot.
We had stops or grants and everything else.
But yeah, if there are people that are interested that you know of, that would be great.
And we also posted, we have to post it in this agenda, and so we do that every year. I also put it in our back to school pathway every year, and for next month, I'll put it, doing this press release, so that we put it out there in different ways to try.
All right, any other questions? Great. Thank you, Kevin, for clarifying all that stuff. Action items, we got this big list of board policies, and this is the third reading, so it'll take a majority to, not a unanimous vote, but a majority of the board. So, and then on this, we have down here towards the end of the list, JHCCF and JHCCF-AR that the administrators have asked us to leave those as currently written rather than revise them. The difference is it will allow us to, the kid comes in with head lice, allow us to exclude rather than make us keep the kid in class and keep that from spreading. So
And what was the first one that you mentioned?
it's JHCCF.
So we're just keeping the same policy that we've had in
Correct.
place.
Yeah, if we remove those from this list, then it'll keep that policy that we currently have in place rather than replace it with the policy that says that we
Leave them
have
as-
to allow them
yep.
in.
And
Yes.
JHCCAR.
And the AR is the administrative rules that go with the policy.
So it's all three of them, right?
Well, one is the deleting the old policy, one is replacing the policy, and then one is the administrative rules that go with it. And I did look because I was concerned that that was into another policy that they had crammed some of this together, and it wasn't. It's standalone policy, so.
So just playing devil's advocate here, there's no way that somehow the delete is still in there. But we're not adopting the new, there's no way we can get our in a ringer by deleting our current policy, but not.
Well, no,
Taking
we
new
would,
policy.
we would remove those three, the deletion, new policy and the new.
Okay, just making sure we're dotting our i's and crossing our. T's.
Yeah, and since it's been proposed, gone through a first and a second reading, we need to take action to remove those from consideration. So that's why we're talking about it right now. So,
Right. So you want to take those three out?
that's what's been asked by the administration.
So we would ask to take JHCC out from the delete. Are we just taking the delete off it? That's correct, leaving the whole thing there, just the delete off.
No, if, may I,
Yeah, go ahead.
requesting that these three just be pulled, we take them out of consideration or existing.
And it would leave the existing policy.
Correct.
In the existing
So
policy.
I understand. JHCC. AR, JHCC, and is that it? JHCCF.
A JHCCF is what the policy is.
So those three, I would ask that we would take those off the list of our board policy third reading.
That's the motion. A second? All right, any discussion regarding this? Anybody need any clarification or anything? Hopefully we got it cleared up.
To clarify, we're keeping the original policy.
Keeping the original
And
policy.
all we're voting on right now is to
To
remove
remove those
those
three
three.
considerations. Yep,
Three
in effect, leave
JHCCF.
What's that?
And all we're doing now is voting to remove JHCCF. The two of them and then the AR from this list.
Yes.
Okay,
For a second.
yes, we have a second here, very second. So, all right. Motion is to remove those three from consideration. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
So I
motion
would make a motion then to approve the board policies as amended.
motion.
Well,
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion in a second. Any discussion?
So this is our final reading of
This
policy.
is the third
Yes.
reading.
Okay.
Yes. So if it doesn't pass at this point, we start back over. And if it does, then we move on. So if there's any consideration that we need to take on any of these, this is probably the time to discuss it.
Since there's a motion to.
And he seconded.
And heck,
Yep.
so we
So we can discuss now.
discuss anything that's on here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to, I'm concerned about a few of them I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
Is this the time to do
Yep,
that?
yep.
Okay. I went through all of these and I'm just like, why are we changing a lot of them? I don't understand some of these little changes that we're making. One of the biggest ones, I did ask, I think it was 2 months ago, with the budget ones, you said that was law. So to me, it's like, you said yes, because it's law,
Well, I think, especially for purchasing,
right?
what we're trying to do is make sure board policy matches state law.
Right, and so I'm not questioning any of those. I'm just more questioning a
what-
lot of,
Policy number?
so the ones that have to do with budget and those types of things, I'd say those sound perfect. My concerns are more like with the health ones specifically. Here's just one I opened up and I'm concerned about. It's EBBA. It's halfway through the things and it's called Student Health Services. EBBA, at the bottom, it says like 1-3 or I-3.
Hey, Terry, is there a few more of those over there?
You grab me one, Jan, thank you. Got mine a couple months ago, I couldn't find it.
I know some of this has to do with state law, because what you're able to do with first aid
Thanks.
and that and training.
Yeah, so,
What does it say at the bottom?
okay, what has me concerned is number, well, I'll have to wait till. EBBA.
Is that on the table of contents or something? How do you find it?
Yeah, because we have 2 of them. That's the one that has this one. And it's passed.
There's the top.
It's stapled together. Right, so number 6, integrate school health services with school health education programs and coordinate with health and social service agencies, public and private.
What's your page on the bottom?
It's gonna be EBBA
Yeah,
1-3. And it's under it should say proposed down the side.
it's in this packet, it has this on the front. And then it's more than halfway. So it's number 6. That one has me a little concerned because it expands the responsibility outside of the local. And then on the second page towards the bottom, inside brackets. The district provides an in-school product dispenser with a variety of products in every student bathroom, which meets the requirements of law. That just has me concerned.
Should have.
I looked up the law. I didn't see it in the law. I'm not a lawyer. But I mean, it does tell us the reference number and I couldn't find anything about it, so. Good lawyer.
Well, it's the footnote's a reference to an Oregon administrative rule.
Yeah.
Not a statute.
Well, I think you have a good point, Mary.
So it's implemented because of ORS 326. 545. That there's the administrative rule and it's referring to. Read that.
Is that 581022?
Yeah, 581-021-0587. It's OER. It's down in the footnote,
Yeah, I looked that up. and I
page
didn't see it.
2-3.
Yeah.
That bottom one, footnote 11.
Mike, would you explain what administrative rules are?
Oregon administrative rules are implementing, so. A bill goes before the House or starts in the House or the Senate, gets through the process, signed by the governor, becomes law. That bill becomes Oregon revised statutes. And then there's Oregon administrative rules that state agencies use to implement those statutes. So a lot of times the statutes will say, you know, the legislature will say, we're not going to get into the land use LCDC, you know, do administrative rules to make that happen. Or in this case, the Oregon Department of Education. They passed this ORS 326-545 and said, Oregon Department of Education, figure out the specifics, figure out the logistics, which is that OER that I just showed you. Now I gotta open my window again and find the reference. It's ORS 326-545. Yeah, and it looks like it was, you know, ORS 326-545 entitled Provision of Menstrual Products in Student Bathrooms. And it was effective since March 23rd of 2022, but it's amended by Senate Bill 1522. Here recently. But yeah, I think that's that footnote 11 is I think this is here because of state law.
But if you look at section 2A, it says, of that ORS you just quoted, says each public education provider shall ensure that both tampons and sanitary pads are available at no cost to students through dispensers located in at least 2 student bathrooms of every public school building. Well, there's at least 2 women's bathrooms, I think, in every school that we have. So that sounds to me like that meets the requirements. I think they're trying to buffalo us here a little bit.
Well, what you just read, I didn't read in the ORS version that pulled up, and next to it is the Senate bill that amended it. So I'm trying to find that language for the change.
Yeah, I just looked it up on Oregon laws, ORS 326-545. And if you follow the text down, it gets to.
Yeah, because the text on this has a 2 and then it goes to 3 and it doesn't have a 2A, so they've. And as
Yeah,
I scroll down and look at the bottom,
Oh, it's farther down. I don't know, we're probably on a different website, but.
oh, no, you're absolutely right. You're on so the ORS provision is listed here and then it's the amendments to 326-545 provision of menstrual products in student bathrooms by section 2, chapter 635 Oregon laws 2021 became operative 2022. The text that's operative until July 2022 is set forth for the users can be, or operative until, it should be after. I do see the later version that they've listed that's in effect later that does have a 2A in at least 2 student bathrooms of every public school building. I see what you're talking about, Wood.
So I think I don't,
So did the school board did the Oregon School Board Association attorney in drafting the template policy go farther than
that's what I'm saying.
than 2 and say, put it everywhere?
Do we want, is that what we want our district to stand for? Or do we want to look at the other wording in the law and say we have it in 2 bathrooms? And I'm sure it would take a complaint for it to ever be a problem, and I don't know that we're gonna have that kind of complaint in our district. I'm with Mary. I don't like it. I would move that we do the same thing with this notion as we did with the headlights thing. And
Actually,
We have a motion
yeah. there's
on
a
the
motion
floor
on the
already,
floor
so
in a
we can't
second.
make another motion. We've got to do.
Yeah.
Oh, so then we
who
gotta vote the whole packet
the
down and start over.
Who did the second?
You did it.
That's what I thought.
So the
I
second,
was gonna say,
second would have
I want to
withdraw the
Can I
first
withdraw
batch.
my second? I thought I did the second, that's why I'm asking. Because I wanted to make sure my memory was correct. I'll withdraw
Yeah,
my
you can
second.
withdraw this, as long as you haven't voted on it yet, you can withdraw the second. Redraw the first, and then start at the beginning here,
Yeah,
so.
so the second is withdrawn,
And the.
the motion is
I'll
withdrawn.
withdraw mine.
Okay, so now we can go back and.
Is it just this one that we're looking at?
You wanna go through all of your points before we make it?
We can do that. If you've got some that you want to consider separately, we can do that. That's fine.
Because
I just had some questions as I read them. Sometimes it's just like a little word that might be wrong that I have a question about. So do you want to do that right now or? Okay,
Yeah, we can.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
All right, starting at the beginning.
The important part is getting it right.
Yeah,
So
awesome. Okay. All right, so I'm starting on this one, the one that has, because we have 2 of them.
do we have the other, ABC? one? Or just, this one here is just C, GCA, and there's only one.
we have another copy of the first part, first section.
This is. Just 2 separate.
I think yours from here on are in the second packet, right?
Yeah,
The other ones you're looking at, Mary,
Yeah.
are in the second packet.
Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
starting with this one. I have concerns in this one first, and I
Okay.
figure since we're already in that, and then we're to that. Okay. So this is start flipping pages because, yeah. Sorry. Okay, this is just a general question for 1-1 BBFC, reporting a suspected abuse of a child. I noticed this in a lot of them. They crossed out the word the Oregon Department of Human Services, and it just said something silly, but I don't understand why they removed the word the. Do you know? It just, I don't know why they didn't move it.
This is policy number again.
It, BDFC reporting of suspected abuse of a child. And there's a lot of these where they.
Bravo, Bravo, Foxtrot.
Yeah,
It could be that they changed the name.
that's what I was wondering, too, if they changed the name. And then right afterwards, they crossed out the word local law enforcement, and that of course gets me concerned again.
Because as a standard, as a mandatory reporter, you don't have to report to your local law enforcement. This policy
Yes.
would therefore include or
Okay,
Yes.
require local law enforcement, not state police.
so you can go to anybody as opposed to
Correct.
just your local. Okay, cool. Thanks for helping me understand that one. I'm just moving along. Okay, evaluation of administrators, CCG. Feel like I'm doing an eye test.
You might have this one.
I think it's.
Evaluation of administrators.
It's in the first book. Sure.
No,
I'm just kind of curious because it says, evaluation and support systems established by the district must evaluate administrators on a regular cycle. A formal evaluation be conducted at least once a year. So how often are they doing them now?
That's consistent.
That's consistent. And do we have a specific formal evaluation that we use? Is that something that has been used for a long time? And that just wasn't in that's the revision, is just adding that in? That's what they want us to add in?
I think the only thing they're at,
Consistent.
the line that's crossed out, the word that's crossed out is the only thing we're talking about changing,
Yes.
right?
Oh, I have.
So it says-
Online, so
Just
that's why I was
the line.
Oh.
wondering if that was-
Well, the highlight would be what is added.
That's what I thought. So
The strike throughs would be taken out. Anything highlighted would be added
I don't
to.
have anything highlighted.
It's in the
Yeah.
grayscale.
Oh, I got the wrong one.
Yeah. So it's just basically making it more.
Oh, evaluation of
Okay.
administrators.
All right,
What the, oh, CBG, there we go.
So-
Now we're cooking.
Administrators.
And then I feel like they made a mistake at the very last sentence on page 3. It said evaluation and support systems and educator effectiveness. I'm thinking it should say administrator effectiveness, since it's about administrators. Just a small
Well-
thing, but
isn't that both educator and administrator review?
it says evaluation of administrators. So that's why I was just being a little nitpicky that it's consistent with verbiage.
Well, it says this needs to be done on a regular cycle, and then that's what they added in here, was that it needs to be on a regular cycle.
Yeah.
So it's,
It's good now. I was just kind of curious of how often it was done before, and did we have like a evaluation system that we had already established? And so, this is asking.
we did that a couple months ago, right?
Well, that's a
Yeah.
The
Terry,
superintendent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but when he does his evaluation of the rest of the administrators, this is.
Oh, I see, okay.
So anyway, just that word nerd thing, I don't know if we want to change it or not to administrators. We're at the end, systems and administrator effectiveness, this is the word.
Well, but is it,
percent?
is the evaluation of the effectiveness of the educators in the building that they're overseeing? Is that what it's looking at?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that part of the rating
That's-
of?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
administrators
Yeah,
do.
got it. Okay. Now I understand. And then
So-
anything that had to do,
So if you look at that, sorry, evaluation of administrators, that page 2-3. If you look at, it goes 1, 2, A, B, C, D, 7. I think what those have accidentally been kicked to the right, and that should be 1 through 7.
oh, good catch. Was right here, instead of going like 1, 2, 3, 4, it went 1, 2,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's a good catch.
The A to D should be
Mhm.
pretty good.
Yeah, some numbering formatting on there.
Yeah,
that would be a friendly amendment,
That would be what?
friendly amendment
friendly amendment.
as a typo or.
Do you have that down there, Julie? Are you seeing where it's at? So under policy CCG, over on the second page, it goes bullet point 1, 2, and then A, B, C, D, and then 7. Like they've moved, the A, B, C, D was 3 through 6. So it'd be just a formatting
Sometimes.
change on that one.
If you say it's a friendly amendment, it's usually just a typo that they can fix without having to do
Yeah, that's
it.
housekeeping.
Housekeeping, yeah.
That's not a- but we have-
And it's not the first time that we've had
Okay.
that type of thing in policies.
Skipping way past anything that had to do with the contractual things, building permits, all the bidding, et cetera, just pass all that and go to first aid. It says that we should delete the first aid. It is EBBA. It was first adopted in 99. And then revised in 22. And I think what this is saying is that the reason that they want to delete it is because they want us to adopt the student health services, is the way I'm reading it. And if we're thinking about not adopting the student health services, we should not be getting rid of our first aid.
Well, I think we have to adopt the student health services. I think we're just not adopting, or we have student health services in the deal, we're just not adopting these.
But
This one is proposed.
But what-
Yeah,
you're actually, what they're doing here is they're pushing, I believe, multiple policies together under EBBA.
Yeah.
And first aid is one of those
That's what I'm saying,
policies. So,
we're still adopting the health services.
yeah, so we'll want to consider that separately with the student health services, or they call that, deleting that or not. So, does that make sense?
no.
So policy EBBA
Mhm.
was first aid. That is being rolled into student health services.
Gotcha.
So in considering separately, we'll want to consider whether or not we delete the first aid in the adoption of the student health services
Perfect.
policy. So we'll,
Okay, address
Have to
that.
make that as. an
Perfect,
amendment.
perfect. All right. And then the infectious control and bloodborne pathogens, it's 2 pages, so it's EBBAA. They have another proposal that we might have to look at, because I think they want us to get rid of our old one and adopt that as also part of their new EBBA. See,
no, I have EBBAA as a proposed policy.
okay.
And that's all, infectious control,
Right,
policy that's state law.
I think we already have one in place, though, that's my
It-
question. is
they
why are we
keep-
replacing it?
Because the state has to update it,
Mhm.
because of new gloves, anything new, they have to have that in the policy. People are allergic to latex. They're allergic, so that some of them say you have to have certain types of gloves available. Things like that.
Yeah, right underneath it, it says this is an option policy. So. I feel like we already have one in place. Just want to throw that out there to consider as part of a big change to our health and policies.
It says optional, and I think part of it is, you know, the legal references, so is 330 ORS 332.107 could be that reference was there when they adopted the prior version of the policy.
Mhm.
But look at all those OERs,
Yeah,
the 9 different OARs, and then the reference to the Code of Federal Regulations, which is on the federal level, it's Congress passing a bill. And then your US code, your CFR, your Code of Federal Regulations implement that. So it's probably changes in either the OARs or the CFRs that are prompting the new policy with blood pathogens.
Well, the big thing, if you look at the bottom, plan shall include training followed by an offer of hepatitis B vaccine and vaccination series for all staff who are required to provide first aid to students and or staff, blah, 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 blah. So training shall be provided at the time of initial assignment to tasks or occupational exposure may take place. That's the big. That could, I mean, we got to decide if we really want to adopt that, because that could be a big expense.
That's actually state law. That is state law.
Then why is it an optional policy?
It's not. That is state law. If you provide, if you have, things in. If potential of somebody getting exposed, you have to offer them. Hepatitis B shots, you have to offer them the other shots before they're ever put in a position to be exposed. That is the law. I know because I used to have to teach this all the time. I've taught it for 40 years. And,
You have to offer it or you have to mandate
you have to offer it to every employee.
I think
It
it's
is.
already one of our policies though, isn't it already a policy?
No, it's expansion.
But I mean, do we
Yeah.
have a pathogen policy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we currently have one that already guarantees those things.
Does it already have all
Yes.
that in it?
You know, this is this is expanding to include the things that it has. Hep B, you know, those types of things.
Yeah, those have to be offered. I know. I've taught it for years. If the cost to a district, if you don't offer those and somebody doesn't sign off and say that I accepted that I wasn't gonna do this, would be millions of dollars.
Yeah, no, I'm almost positive that I read it, that we already have that in our original policy. That's why I'm curious. What
think it-
changes to this are different than our original policy?
What I heard there was it was expanding the people that may potentially be
No, it's gonna be-
affected.
Well, I guess we can.
We do have the option if we need more
Mhm.
kind of research. This is why for 2 months I've said, if you have any questions, get them to Terry, we'll get them figured out, we'll get them disseminated to everybody so that we
Yeah.
don't get to where we're third reading and trying to figure out what we're gonna do with the policy. But we do have the option of not adopting this policy and running it back through where we can get the time to. I mean, there's no
Is there any
legal
policies,
requirement that says that we have to
is
have.
there any policies that need to be done tonight?
I would say anything that we don't have any
Problem with.
let's get it done, get it out of the way. Clean up this pile a little bit.
Yeah,
It's kind of like raking leaves in the yard. You start raking the whole yard, it's gonna take you forever and it's gonna be confusing. You just
And it's
rake
gonna-
it all in little piles.
And it's gonna blow around again. We don't
Yeah,
wanna blow
Rake
it
it all
around
in little
again.
piles and pick it up. It's a whole lot easier process. So
I'm turning pages quick. We were mostly those health and first aid, et cetera. Yep, they would see those, like that grouping.
Which ones?
So
Which
EBBA
ones?
Yeah. Okay.
and EBBAA, correct?
I would say any, my concerns, because we stopped talking about them, pretty much went through anything that had to do with the EB series, like that, those first 5. Because they wanted us to delete our old policies. And I'm just concerned that you just want to be very careful before we start deleting policies, that especially with things that are optional or maybe. So if we just look.
Are you talking clear through like emergency plan and first aid, emergency
we say-
procedures?
Yes.
Disaster?
Yeah.
The emergency plan?
Section. Right through communicable diseases was the last thing that I had questions on.
So
So EBBAA was the last one, or that's infection control and bloodborne pathogens.
No, I think she's looking, on the other side of the page, EBCB and
Oh,
then
way down.
GBEB, correct? GBEB was another one you had
Yeah.
a
Yep,
concern about.
yes.
So basically all the E's.
All the E's and then that first GB.
First 2 Gs.
You
I
make
guess
the motion
first
to
two.
pull those?
I make a motion that we pull those. For
For reevaluation.
reevaluation at the next meeting,
Could you clarify
yes.
in the
I'm doing
motion
that right now.
to make sure that we get the right ones?
Yes. Through GBEBAR. Yeah, so the communicable diseases in school. And
EBBA through
through, yep. So
Through this
GBEB,
AR. yeah.
EBA.
EBAR.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Everybody,
that's your motion?
No, I'm gonna reconsider the motion. Well, no,
Basically,
yeah,
all of the E's and then.
So can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
So you're talking about Echo Bravo Bravo Alpha,
yep.
Echo Bravo Bravo Alpha, Echo Bravo Bravo Alpha AR, Echo Bravo Bravo Alpha Alpha, Echo Bravo Bravo Bravo, Echo Bravo Charlie, Echo Bravo Charlie slash Echo Bravo Alpha, Echo Bravo Charlie Alpha, Echo Bravo Charlie Bravo, Bravo, Golf Bravo Echo Bravo, and Golf Bravo Echo Bravo AR.
Yes, good clarification.
All of them.
Very impressed. So I just want to make sure I use the language correctly. I make a motion that we reevaluate these 11 policies.
so we would remove them from consideration
There we go.
to take them up to another reading.
Next month.
As long as we all
For
think
time
we can
certain.
be ready for it. Yep. So let me try that again. I
We
make
get
a
the
motion
language right, I'll second it. I just want to
Make
make
a
sure.
motion that we do not look at these, don't include these 11 policies in tonight's.
Remove them from consideration.
From consideration
Until next meeting.
till next week.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
There next week.
Any discussion? All right, motion is to remove from consideration the list of 9 policies and ARs here.
I think it's 11.
11
Well, from EBBA.
from TBBA through GBEB dash AR. Okay, everybody's clear where we're at?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, so the motion passes.
I would make a motion that we do third reading and pass the rest of these board policies.
Would second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
Nah, skip that. Let's just approve. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Bad humor.
All right, hearing no discussion. Motion is to approve the rest of the policies minus the ones that we have pulled, the head lice and then the emergency. Communicable.
As amended.
Yep, so, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the motion passes. So Julie, if you need me to help you get that iron back out, let me know. All right, next we have approved the student investment account annual report. And that was what Kevin had presented to us before.
If there's no further discussion on that, I would make that motion that we approve the student investment account annual report.
I'll second your motion, Jim.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? That. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Haven't received any public comment requests tonight. Do we have any board comments?
Are we retouching on the subject that we were gonna follow up on from last board meeting? About safety at the schools?
We will be as more information forward.
In the last board meeting, it was just a kind of where we were and how things were progressing and how things have gone.
You were gonna give us a
You,
report.
yeah,
It was emailed to you.
Mhm.
it is.
Okay.
Oh, letter, did you
Awesome.
receive it? Yeah. Here, did you? Okay.
Hmm.
So it's,
All right.
it's a update.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you-
Julie.
okay.
Okay, any other comments? All right, no late items. Future agenda items, next board officers meeting is Thursday, October 3rd at 3:30 in the district or in the superintendent's office. Next board meeting is October 14th, 6:30 here in the district office boardroom, and we're adjourned.